Facts that can actually save your life. Always keep a pack of gum with you. Gum can help relieve stress and suppress your appetite during emergencies. And it can also be used as a glue substitute. Remember the survival rules of threes. First, you can only survive for around 3 minutes without air and only 3 days without water. And finally, 3 weeks without food. This will help you rank your needs in case of emergencies. If you're walking to your car in a dark place, have your keys ready in your hand. It will be much easier for you to get in your car quickly, and if you're attacked, you can use your keys as a weapon. And don't forget, no matter how thirsty you are, do not eat large amount of snow. Too much cold ice in your stomach can cause you to die from hypothermia, so melt the ice before drinking it.
When police arrived at Zoraida and Alberto's home, they discovered a horrific scene. Zoraida and Alberto and their 2 young sons, who were only 10 and 7 years old, as well as their 3 dogs, they were all brutally murdered. Who would want this entire family gone? Zoraida and her family's death was part of a complicated and disturbing plot involving Zoraida's affair with a man named Nathaniel Huey Jr. But here's the thing, Nathaniel wasn't the only person involved in this disturbing and evil plot. Zoraida and Nathaniel met at work. They knew each other for about a year and started an affair in May 2023. Zoraida was married to her husband Alberto. They had 2 kids. Nathaniel, on the other hand, was in a 10+ year relationship with a woman named Ermelinda Palomo. For some time, they thought that no one knew about their affair, but they were wrong. At some point during their affair, Nathaniel's fiancée, Ermelinda, found out about what was going on, but instead of her completely losing it and confronting him, she kept it a secret. But she would come up with this crazy and disturbing plot to get revenge. And I'm not talking about revenge against Nathaniel necessarily. She targeted Zoraida and her family. Ermelinda began creating various social media accounts and pretended to be someone from the Mexican cartel. I know, this is crazy, psychotic, and it's really difficult to believe, but this is just what was going on.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. A bear that attacked luxury cars in LA was actually a person in a costume, according to insurance investigators. Passengers have a new fear unlocked because the plane they were on flew for 9 hours and then landed back at the same airport they came from. Mike Tyson reminded a child reporter that she too will die someday. A police officer pulled over his own boss for speeding. A former inmate sued Oklahoma jail officers for their baby shark torture tactic. A woman who dropped her phone in between 2 boulders got stuck upside down trying to get it. A fire station burned down in Germany after there was no fire detection system installed. The latest study shows that self-driving cars are safer than humans driving cars unless it's dawn, dusk, or it's trying to turn. A new alleged potato cartel is being accused of conspiring to raise the price of frozen fries and tater tots across the United States.
The horror hidden in the photo. A photo of 2 sisters. Where did this nun come from? A couple enjoying their vacation. The girl in the red lost her footing while posing for a picture and fell into Niagara Falls.
People are saying your favorite celebrities are hanging out with a witch. As you can see, this woman is pretty friendly with a lot of celebrities. A$AP Rocky, Kim Kardashian, Kanye, even Amigos. But why are they so deeply connected with this woman? Her name is Michelle Lemmy, and it says she's a fashion designer, film producer, etc. But she's also married to Rick Owens, who is known as the Dark Lord of fashion. Look, here she is even wearing his head as a purse. Oh, and she's very close to Marina Abramovich, whose art is a little demonic. I mean, she once threw a party with a human-shaped cake. I kid you not. Look at this. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Is this just a connection for fashion, or is there something more darker going on? And make sure you guys hit that follow button, because my next video will blow your mind.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at, muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house, so they run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kid's bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie. This is the actual transcript of what was written on his door, which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
Morbid Facts, Part 421. Christine Palillo was a bullied outcast at school until two popular girls befriended her and gave her a makeover, helping her achieve the title of Miss Irresistible from her school's student body. But just a few months later, Christine and her drug addict boyfriend would end up brutally murdering the girls and two others in a botched drug deal. One of the girls tried desperately crawling to her phone after being shot in the groin, until Christine bashed her skull in with the butt of her revolver. Serial killer Dennis Rader used to install security systems for homeowners. Many of his clients wanted the security systems to keep the BTK killer from ever entering their homes, unaware that he was in fact the one installing them. In 2017, Glenna Durham killed her husband after shooting him 5 times. Soon afterwards, the couple's pet African gray parrot started repeating the words "don't effing shoot" in the husband's voice. These were assumed to be the husband's last words, and the woman was eventually found guilty of first-degree murder.
Baffling Butterfly Effects, Part 4. In 1928, a man from London left his home for a 2-week vacation at the beach. When he returned home, he noticed a horrific smell, but he didn't know where it was coming from. He eventually found an old piece of cheese that was covered in mold. He examined the cheese under a microscope, and he noticed that there were no bacteria around the mold. That mold led to the discovery of antibiotics, which have saved over 200 million lives.
Strangest addictions people have. Nicole eats drywall. Jennifer eats the foam inside of beds and couch cushions. Kino eats toilet paper. Bria eats sand. Teresa eats 2 pounds of rock a day. Cassie eats her late husband's ashes to mourn him.
Forbidden places that you can never visit. Snake Island is an island off of the coast of Brazil filled with deadly snakes. Rising sea levels cause this piece of land to become an island, allowing for the snakes to flourish in their own environment. There are now up to 5 snakes every square meter, and you are not allowed to go here. In Svalbard, Norway, there is a global seed vault, aka the Doomsday Vault. It is the world's seed bank, storing samples of crops from all over the world just in case of a global catastrophe. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang in China holds an army of warriors made of clay. It protects the burial spot of the first emperor of China who died in 210 BC, and we only discovered this tomb in 1974. Paveglia Island in Italy was used to exile hundreds of thousands of victims of the plague. It is said to be one of the most haunted places on Earth, and a dark local legend says that 50% of the soil is made up of human remains. Follow for more.
This is the scary story about the school trip. An entire class of 6th graders went on a school trip one day. Everybody was taking pictures with their phones and cameras and having such a great time. But when they all got back to school, they started looking through all the photos they took, when suddenly one of the girls screamed, "Oh my god, what is that?" In the picture, one of the boys in the class was sitting on the bus, and nothing seemed strange about the photo until you looked at his reflection in the window. His face in the reflection looked like it was yellow and bulging, and completely mutating. Also, there was a white floating figure behind him in the reflection. Everybody turned the photo upside down and realized it was a human skull, and it was horrific. And when the boy saw the photo of himself, he immediately burst into tears and had a panic attack. The teacher then took the boy to the nurse's office, and the principal banned everybody from speaking about the strange photo ever again. And to make this even scarier, 7 days later, the boy died from a brain tumor. The photo is said to be on the internet somewhere, but I don't recommend looking for it.
Scary humans recorded by cameras.
Morbid Facts, Part 446. An X-ray revealed that a 300-year-old Mexican statue of Jesus has real human teeth. They're believed to have been donated by worshippers as a way to get closer to the religious figure. After killing his girlfriend with a hatchet, 30-year-old Philadelphia man William Kemmler became the first person to be executed by electric chair. While it was supposed to demonstrate the effectiveness and humanity of electrocution, the punishment went horribly wrong. They underestimated the amount of electricity needed to quickly and painlessly end a man's life. So Kemmler was still conscious after the first shock. When physicians noticed he was still breathing in agony, they hit him with a second shock that was more powerful, causing his entire body to convulse violently and start smoking. Kemmler ended up with bubbling skin, melted eyes, and a foaming mouth, and the entire room reeked of burning flesh as many spectators ended up passing out from the horror. But despite this, the electric chair would still continue to be used for more than 100 years afterwards.
This mysterious creature was captured on a trail cam. At first, it looks a lot like a wolf, but looking more closely, the front legs appear to have elongated fingers, unlike any species of dog or wolf. The face, in particular, the nose and teeth of the creature appear almost human-like. Could this be a rare sighting of the mythological creature known as a werewolf? In folklore, a werewolf is an individual who can shape-shift into a wolf, either purposely or after being placed under a curse or a bite from another werewolf, with the transformation occurring on the night of a full moon.
Terrifier 4 will be the last movie we ever see Art the Clown in. That's what everybody online is saying, and you guys could not be more wrong. Damien Leone coming out yesterday saying, look, I don't have a definitive answer on how many movies we're gonna make, but I personally want to make 1 to 2 more. Rest assured, the ending will be epic and terrifying. Now look fam, we've seen this before. We know this all too well. On top of the fact that Terrifier 3 made over $18 million made on a $2 million budget. I don't ever want people to look at Terrifier as a money grab, but as long as the movies are pumping and doing insanely well at the box office, the saga ain't ending. And that's not a hit at them at all, because I absolutely love the franchise and I love this movie. But all in all, you have to think about it. When money is involved, things will be made. As I said, we've seen this before. My only fear is that Art the Clown is going to turn into a glorified poster boy, pretty much like Jason and Michael. We got way too many movies. They all continue to overlap with reboots and this person making it and that person making it, and in my personal opinion, made kind of a mockery of the whole entire franchise. Granted, some movies are good, some of the reboots are good, but everybody puts their own twist on it. We don't need another twist on Art the Clown. We do not need another person playing Art the Clown. David Howard Thornton is Art the Clown. If anybody else ever plays Art the Clown, it's not going to be the same. Damien Leone's the director, no one else. I'm hoping Art the Clown doesn't turn into another Jason and Michael, but it might happen.
This couple in California would set up bait bikes, wait until somebody would steal it, and then beat them up with baseball bats and record it and post it onto YouTube. This happened all the way back in 2020, and they really did not like bike thieves, apparently. This happened in Fresno, California, and they would brag about it to their neighbors. Even crazier, they wouldn't even bother to call the police after they assaulted them or when they caught the thieves. They really just wanted to beat them up with these metal baseball bats. Apparently they were victims of break-ins and home invasions and then theft. They then decided to take the law into their own hands because they thought nothing was really getting done for them. Now obviously the YouTube videos have since been taken down. That's kind of how they got caught, because of YouTube and the bragging to their neighbors. 4 victims have come forward, but the police say there's probably more. Because honestly, who's gonna admit, yeah, I was stealing a bike and then I got beat up? Both suspects were charged and put into jail, but they bailed out after. The neighbors did admit there's also a high crime rate in that neighborhood for some reason. Neighbors that just moved there said their car was broken into like the first day they were there. But let me know what you guys think about this story. Were they right to do this or not?
Most people believe these 3 things will save your life. They don't. Let's pretend that you're on vacation with some friends in this cabin, and you hear on the news that there's actually a killer on the loose in the woods surrounding your cabin. What do? Instinctively, you're going to want to ditch your friends and just start running into the woods. No shoes, no weapons, no cell phone, no sense of where you're going. But that's actually a terrible idea because the killer is in the woods, and you'd be putting yourself more in harm's way, not less. So you decide to stay put, and then you remember that your friend drove you all to the cabin in their brand new Lamborghini that was working like 5 minutes ago. So why can't you just pile into that and drive away to safety? The problem with that is anytime you're in a cabin in the woods and there's a killer on the loose around your cabin, even if it's a brand new car, it's not going to start. So don't even go out and try it. You're just sitting in the cabin doing nothing when all of a sudden you feel like someone could be watching you and you want to turn around and make sure no one is. Don't turn around, because if you do, the killer will magically appear behind you.
Forbidden live streams. Hi, my name is Ethan, and we're about to be talking about a dark topic. The first live stream ever was made in 1993, and the first crime ever live streamed was in 2008, and that was the Akihabara massacre. But as you guys know, being that the dark web was made in 2000, I'm sure that there was other crimes live streamed long before 2008. Hundreds of crimes featuring murders, R-word, trafficking, SA were all streamed via YouTube, dark web, Facebook, Instagram, and so many more. What is even more chilling about these live streams is some sites, more on the dark web, have an actual membership program, and that's basically where people pay to watch others just be utterly tortured. Needless to say, live streaming as a whole can be a great platform unless it gets into the wrong person's hands.
Hana Kobayashi went missing when she was traveling from Hawaii to LA just last month. She was scheduled to be on her connecting flight on November 8th in New York, however she missed it. Days later, after she sent some disturbing texts to her family, she went missing. She went completely off the grid. The weird thing is, right after that, police got a footage of her crossing into the border into Mexico. This is 125 miles away from Los Angeles. And this happened on November 12th, so 4 days after she supposedly missed her flight. A missing persons report was filed. Her family went searching for her, as well as authorities and volunteers. Her father flew all the way from Hawaii to LA to join these search efforts. Her father was then found dead in a parking lot in Los Angeles. It was confirmed that he did take his own life. Apparently, the stress of losing his daughter Hannah got to him so badly. Hannah was then located about a month later in Mexico after going off the grid. Police are now calling her disappearance as a voluntary disappearance. However, because of this voluntary disappearance and because of the lack of communication between her and her family, this stressed everybody out, especially her father, and this led to the circumstances we're in now. In this case, a simple text from her would have probably saved her father's life if she just told them she was going off the grid. Let me know your thoughts about this story. People are calling for her to be charged on this. Do you agree with that?
Disney princesses without makeup. Elsa. Jasmine. Snow White. Tiana. Mulan. Pocahontas. Cinderella. Ariel. Belle.
People with the most unusual skin color. 1. Lola Chuo. Lola Chuo is a teen with very dark skin and striking doll-like features. 2. Nastya Zhidkova. Nastya Zhidkova is a Russian model with albinism who has very pale skin and hair. 3. Connie Chu. Connie Chu is the first albino fashion model and is originally from Hong Kong. 4. Ralph Souffrant. Ralph Souffrant is a model from Haiti with very dark skin and natural freckles. 5. Koudia Diop. Koudia Diop is a model from Senegal who has extremely dark skin and is called the Melanin Goddess. 6. Winnie Harlow. Winnie Harlow is a Canadian model with vitiligo, which causes white patches on her skin. 7. Amina Ependieva. Amina Ependieva is a Russian girl with albinism and heterochromia, different colored eyes.